Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Here's our Bhakti Workshop organizer, and everybody else has to introduce themselves. Except you.
What is your name? Shrikar? No, you could just tell what
Well, Amala Bhakti
Tell them why
Prabhu,
I've come here.
he's of course we invited him to come to speak tonight to all of you, and he's also brought many copies of his different recordings. He does dramatic readings of the all of Prabhupada's books, and they're all in the back. You can listen to them. Many people throughout the movement, they want to hear like the Bhagavatam or Chaitanya Charitamrita or Bhagavad Gita, and you can just listen while you're working or in the car or whatever, and you can hear the whole book in a very inciting and interesting recording.
And Shravanananda here, Prabhu, just mentioned that he has heard the whole Bhagavatam twice. And Ramapad Maharaj, he has heard the whole Chaitanya Charitamrita 26 times. Wow. Yeah, that of course goes back from 1988. So, and we have many others, some, many for the children, the children's Krishna book, and we also have the Ramayan. Those are the two which are very recommended for, especially the children. But we have so many other. So the life of Tulsi Devi, we worship the wonderful, glorious devotee plants, and many, many others. So if you have any questions after I speak tonight, I'm at your service to answer any questions you may have. Please don't hesitate. No question is too foolish. The more foolish, the better, because it gives me a chance to show off my eloquence. And just please feel free to ask. I have no problem, and I'll be glad to guide you through any of these different MP3 CDs. We also now have everything on a USB, which makes it even easier. If you go into your car, you can just plug it in and get any of all of the things that I've recorded. And that goes into over 1,000 hours of recordings. So without any further ado, shall I begin the talk?
Yeah, we're expecting more, like at least 3-4 families more.
Okay, so you want to have a little more kirtan?
I don't know, just you can also use this mic if you feel comfortable, because the crowd will become bigger. So
They have some speakers somewhere. Oh, yours for recording? No
this
speakers.
is for speaking. So, I mean,
Oh, you mean for, do you have this is speaker, it'll project the sound?
yeah, it's...
Okay, let's give it a try. And I don't, right now I don't think I'll need
Hare
it.
Krishna, Hare Krishna.
I think I can beat that.
Okay. So maybe then we can all...
Yeah, we can
So
do
you
it.
can all just come a little closer,
Yeah.
and that way I hope that you'll hear every word. I've just made a big boast. Let me try to fulfill it.
Do you want to sit here? The light is also on opposite side. Looks better. Okay.
Is this going on YouTube?
Yeah.
It will be. Yeah, every place I go, everything's being put on YouTube. Then it gets onto my website. So,
Okay.
will it be YouTube?
Yes.
Because I have to watch everything I say very carefully. Then it's going to the whole world. Thank you for coming closer. That's wonderful. So, you just tell me when to start. I would like to have some of the cartels, and I can start with the Jaya Radha Madhava. Oh, thank you.
You can play the drum.
The kids are so captivated today.
What's that?
The kids are so captivated, the children.
Oh, really?
Yeah, by your film.
Oh, well, oh, that is.
Otherwise they're so noisy, we need 2 people to take care of them.
Well, if I should lose my potency that I've just
You'll
been...
take them inside.
Okay. You've said my words. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna Mataji. I'm hoping it can be maintained by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's special mercy. Okay, so we can begin by chanting the Jaya Radha Madhava prayers. And at the end of the talk, I welcome questions or comments. You're all welcome. It's like one big Hare Krishna family. So, as I said, nobody has to feel hesitant or uncertain or fearful or anything like that. Sometimes I say things and I don't fully explain them. I hope I will explain them, but I make my oversights. I'm a conditioned soul who makes mistakes, is in illusion, and has imperfect senses, and also may even try to cheat people. I hope I don't. I pray to Krishna that I don't. But 4 conditioned souls have these 4 defects. So if anything happens, my apologies to begin with, so we can begin the Jai Radha Madhava prayers now. Before I begin, thank you all very much for coming. It's my pleasure and my privilege to share Srila Prabhupada's glorious teachings with all of you. I feel that this is a blessing for me, especially when I get a chance to talk to persons who are sincerely and deeply interested in not only benefiting but advancing in these glorious teachings. They are so precious, they are so great, they are so wonderful, that it is hard for us in our present state to realize this, but as we get on and as we continue our growing and developing, what happens is we begin to see this is so amazing. How did Krishna even allow me, considering my qualities which are so low and so insignificant, to be able to be a recipient of such wonderful, amazing knowledge. So the knowledge, as it begins to manifest means you begin to realize it, as opposed to merely know it as book knowledge. There are many classes given, and it's really not much different than just reading the book. Now, reading the book is good, but we want to understand what we read, and that is why Srila Prabhupada gives these purports or commentaries. But even that stops at a certain point. The ultimate understanding comes from Krishna's grace and mercy. But Srila Prabhupada is encouraging us and teaching us how to obtain that grace and that mercy. If you don't have it, then it's not fully understandable. But when it is realized, you can speak about it as you could speak your own name. That's how close it is, and that's how understandable it is to you. The interesting thing about this is when you can speak it and help and also transmit it to others, the glory of realization is that you can transmit your understanding to another person so that they can understand the same thing that you did. Not as deeply, not as completely, but they get the idea of what you mean. And getting the idea of what you mean, they then, taking that idea, will mull upon it, think about it, consider it, and little by little, through such consideration, contemplation, meditation, the understanding will grow deeper, greater, wider, so that it becomes their realization. And that's really our goal. My goal is not just to give you, and I see it so often, lots and lots of book knowledge. I go to college and I get lots of book knowledge. I memorized Cowell, who won the American Revolution in 1625 and 16... This is all knowledge that I get and I forget. I memorize it for the test and then it's gone. So this is not what we're about. What we're about is what you're going to gain and learn for the rest of your life. It's to make every day of your life more meaningful, more fulfilling, more glorious, and more desirable. So many people today, they don't even desire to live, or they go on living as if it's just a dreary mess. Oh, another day, I got to get up. I can't wait till the weekend comes. Have a nice weekend. You hear this, you go to work at the end of Friday night, have a nice weekend. Yeah, because the day is horrible. So they want everybody to have a nice weekend or have a nice vacation because the days of... That's not what Krishna consciousness is about. What I will speak about tonight is how to make not just your day beautiful, not just your complete workday satisfying, but every moment should be fulfilling and satisfying. And really that comes from the process of bringing Krishna into your day, bringing him into the moment. You'll see that I have this K on my list. Okay, why do I have a K on it? It's a tattoo, by the way. I used to write it in. I got tired of writing it and went to a tattoo person. You might put this K on there because I want to remember my worshipful, lovable Lord Krishna. He said, oh, you know, my cousin, he goes to the Krishna temple. I said, good, you come too. Would you give me a little discount? He charges $50. He said, if you know Krishna and you've just said the name Krishna, you've just got a blessing. Is it worth at least $10? $40. Yeah, he took off $10. So he did. Well, that's Krishna's mercy. He should. He got the benefit. So anyway, I'm just giving you an idea. The whole point of this is that we want to remember Krishna. He's our nearest. He's our dearest, our lovingest. And there is no one in this world who loves you more than God. And my business is only to simply make you aware of the fact that how much He loves you and how you will count your blessings in so many ways as we get on with this talk. And if you do this as a regular and daily thing, you're going to find that you say, my God! And I don't mean that as a colloquial expression, but I mean that as an outpouring of the heart. My God, I could never imagine that you loved me so much because I took everything for granted. I took it as my due because I'm such a great, wonderful person. So now I realize next to you, I'm so insignificant, I'm so tiny, I'm so small that all I can do now is just look up to you. And the more we look up to Krishna, the more we glorify Him, the more we adore Him, the more He looks down upon us and showers His blessings, His mercy, His kindness, His sweetness, and His love upon you. Can there be anything better and greater than that? So that's what I just kind of wanted to give this as a preamble as to what you can expect from what I plan to talk about. Let's do Jai Radhamadava now. I was hoping somebody would come in, but that's okay.
Oh.
A little stiff. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Jaya Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari.
Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari.
Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari.
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Jana Vallabha Girivardhari.
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Yashodanandana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha
chapter, and it will be the 27th verse. If we could just move this light closer to me, I'll probably be able to see these words a little better. Yeah, so that the light is shining down on the page. That would be a perfect picture. Yeah, that's wonderful. Really great. I think I can see that without any problem whatsoever. I'll read the verse first, and if there's anyone who would like to chant the verse, who knows the verse, please feel free to do so. Yat karoshi yad ashnasi
Yat karoshi yad ashnasi
yad jahosi dadasi yat
Yat juhosi dadashiyat
yat tapasyasi konteya
Yat tapasyasi kondeya
tat gurushva mad arpanam.
Tat gurushva mad arpanam.
Would anybody like to knows the verse? Would like to chant it? Please do. No one knows it. Let's chant it a few more times, because these verses have lots of potency. They are the words that Krishna uttered to Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, in the middle of the field, when Arjuna was surveying the opponents and lost his courage, and Krishna is now giving him the means by which he can regain that courage, and by so doing fight a war which is called a righteous war, a war that must be fought in order to rid the world of many demoniac kings, one of whom is Duryodhana and all of his brothers especially. Okay? So, I'll try this. Yat karoshi yad ashnasi
Yat karoshi yad asnasi
Yaj johosi dadasiyat
Yat juhosi dadasiyat
Yat tapasyasi konteya
Yat tapasyasi kaunteya
Tat gurushva mad arpanam
Tat gurushva madarpanam
Yat karoshi yad ashnasi
Yat karoshi yad asnasi
Yaj johosi dadasiyat
Yat karoshi dadasya
Yat tapasyasi konteya
Yat tapasyasi kaunteya
Tat gurushva mad arpanam. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Whatever you do, Krishna is speaking now. He's telling Arjuna. And this, as I said, is the 9th chapter, the 27th verse. I will also do the 28th verse because they are intimately connected. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me. Please. No, you have to take him out, please. Thank you. Whatever you do.
Whatever you do.
Yes, thank you. Whatever you eat.
Whatever you eat.
Whatever you offer.
Whatever you offer.
Or give away.
Or give away.
And whatever austerities you perform,
whatever austerities you perform,
do that, O son of Kunti,
do that, O son of Kunti,
as an offering unto me.
as an offering unto me.
Now I'm going to read the next translation, which is directly connected with this. In this way, you will be freed from the bondage to work and its auspicious and inauspicious results. With your mind fixed on me in this principle of renunciation, you will be liberated and you'll come to me. Please repeat. In this way, you will be freed. From bondage to work. And its auspicious and inauspicious results. With your mind fixed on me. In this principle of renunciation. You will be liberated. And come to me. Purport. Commentary. Thus, it is the duty of everyone. Before I give the purport, let me just say that I was asked to show the difference, or how Karma Yoga leads to Bhakti Yoga. Was that, somebody had mentioned that? That was your request. Is that correct? Because that's what I would like to talk about. That's what I prepared myself to talk. What is the difference between Karma Yoga and Bhakti Yoga? And why is Bhakti Yoga superior to Karma Yoga? And this is, it's mentioned, of course, in the book. And this verse is very useful in understanding that difference. Yeah, if you can close is the door closed? Because I can't go on unless the door is closed. It's not going to work. And I'm serious. I don't speak when there are children making noise. I'm sorry. But this is a sacred discourse. And it is the duty of everyone to mold his life in such a way that he will not forget Krishna in any circumstance. Everyone has to work for maintenance of his body and soul together. And Krishna recommends herein that one should work for him. Everyone has to eat something to live. Therefore, he should accept the remnants of foodstuffs offered to Krishna. Any civilized man has to perform some religious, ritualistic ceremonies. Therefore, Krishna recommends, do it for me. He says, don't do it for yourself. You do it for me and you will lose your selfishness. When you do it for yourself, you're just thinking of what benefit you can get. And that's your entire problem in your life. All you're thinking about is what you can get for yourself. How you can benefit, number one. And that's what's causing all your problems. Because as soon as you begin thinking about how you can benefit, number one, you will naturally be in anxiety. Am I going to get it? When will I get it? Or maybe I won't get it. And then if I get it, can I hold on to it? These are the endless anxieties that confront us. So consequently, we have no peace. We have no contentment, no calmness. It's always number one. So Srila Prabhupada is mentioning in this purport that we have to learn to offer the action. In this case, it was food. You offer your food to Krishna. You offer your work to Krishna. You offer your money to Krishna. And I'll explain all that. But rest assured that no one is going to have to give your whole paycheck this week to Krishna. But you can always understand that really he's the one who gave it to you, and therefore he's the one who owns it. You say, how did he give it to me? I'll get into that in a little while. He gives everything. We couldn't eat a morsel unless he let the rain come down on the earth, unless the sun was shining on the earth, unless the winds were blowing on the earth. We could not have anything. And there are places where they are not getting anything. You go to Ethiopia, different parts of Africa, where the land has become barren. They're what they call droughts, 2 and 3 year droughts. The people are starving. Yes, so we're very blessed. When they hear about what we get, it's like miracle. How could you be getting that when we have nothing, you see? So Krishna is responsible
There are reasons why some get nothing and most of the world gets something. But there are times when even persons in the world where there is something, for example, I live in Los Angeles, and you go down to an area which is called Skid Row, which is an area in which homeless people live. People have lost all hope, they have lost all direction, they have no interest, they spend most, whatever little money they get, they usually drink it away on alcohol, and it's a very pathetic existence. Or many of them may not eat, they don't have any money. And even though there are missions which give out food, sometimes they can't digest the food, you see. Or their stomach has been eaten away by certain diseases due to the alcohol content that is, you might say, lacerated or created ulcers in their stomach. So it's a blessing just to be able to eat, let alone have the food. So we'll get into that a little bit more. So Krishna says, do it for me. And this is called archana. Everyone has a tendency to give something in charity. Krishna says, give it to me. He's saying, yes, that's okay, but the highest charity is to offer it to me. Because he's saying, in effect, I'm the one who can relieve you of your anxieties, your confusion, your uncertainties, your doubts. I can get rid of all of those things. I can enable you to be peaceful, to be fulfilled, to be happy, to be strong, to be confident. I can give you all that. All I ask is that you start to give these things to me, not because I need them. You don't have to give your food to me because I'm hungry. I want you to give it to develop your love for me. I want your love. I don't need your food. I make all this food. Why do I need your food? I'm the creator of it. I make the rain to come down. I make the fruits to come, the flowers and stems and everything to come up. I make the trees to bear bananas and apples and, and pineapples to come. Why do I need your food? What I do need is, what I do, when I say need, is what gives me, or as we use the term in this country, what turns me on is your love. How does it think? How does it turn Krishna on? If you give Krishna pure love, that's like this water was put here for me. If I'm thirsty, then that water is delectable. It's delicious because it gets rid of the parch or the dryness of my throat. So Krishna is full of love. When you add or you offer, as it says here, your love to Krishna in the form of these foods, or whatever money that you have, you offer that to Krishna. You offer your possessions to Krishna, whatever they may be, whether it's your carpet, whether it's your pictures, whether it's your boat, whether it's your airplane, whether it's your position at your job. Everything belongs to Krishna. That's the first thing, the first step. It all belongs to Krishna. You didn't get a single thing without him not only knowing about it, but making sure you got it. You got it because you have what we call some good karma. Karma is your actions of the past. Because you performed certain actions of the past, you merited some fruit in the present. The fruit of the present, it's like you put the seed in the ground, up comes some sprouts, and then stems, and then trunk, and before you know it, a year goes by, 2 years goes by, and you have a fruit tree, and then the tree drops the fruit. That's the good karma of the farmer. He puts the seed in, it's only a seed. His good karma is when the fruit falls to the ground or he picks it. Similarly, everything that you have, everything that you possess, everything that you own, it is all coming as Krishna's fruit as a result of the good works that you have done in the past. So you just but you wouldn't get it unless he allowed you to have it. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, yet in this body there is another, a transcendental enjoyer, who is the Lord, the supreme proprietor, who exists as the overseer and the permitter, and is known as the super soul. Super soul exists as Krishna within the heart. Okay? The Catholics or Christians, they call it the Holy Ghost or the Holy Spirit. It's the same thing. So the Spirit, you might say, well, if sometimes people think, well, if God's up in his heaven, how do you know what I'm doing down here? You know? Well, he's everywhere, in every atom of creation. There is no spot, no atom where Krishna doesn't see what we're doing. And especially in our hearts. He said this is where he exists, right beside the soul. Soul is you, super soul is he, and he is, it's like two birds sitting on a tree. You see? One bird is enjoying eating the fruits, and the other bird is saying, hey, don't eat too much. If you eat too much, you'll get a bellyache. He's saying, hey, watch out where you're going. There's a hunter over there. And if you don't watch yourself, you'll be caught. So Krishna is the super soul, the guide. And he's come here to help us to get back to him. Because we've become so materialistic and so much involved in the fruits of our action, enjoying them till we become habituated. And that becomes our end-all and be-all, just the pleasures. That's what goes on in America. We are distracted by one food, by one pleasure, another pleasure, all temporary, and at the end of it we have what is called ennui, or just boredom, depression. So I have to go to the amusement park and go up on the roller coaster, come down, scream, yell, you know, like you almost think you're going to die. And this is excitement, you see. This is madness. We shouldn't have to be going up on roller coasters to feel the joie de vivre, the joy of life. Not at all. But that's what happens when you become very materialistically based. You go from one pleasure to another pleasure to another pleasure. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, an intelligent person does not take part. If I can remember. An intelligent person does not take part in the sources of misery, which are due to contact with the material senses. Such pleasures of the senses have a beginning and an end. And the wise person does not delight in them. Why doesn't he delight in them? Because they're temporary. And what do we want? We want permanent pleasure. You want permanent pleasure, then you can't, I mean, you can eat something and then, let's take ice cream. We all like, well, most of us like ice cream. And you eat it once, it's good, and then next time, good, next time, you lose the taste. But if you just keep eating, because the consistency of the ice cream is just so nice, that creamy thing going down your throat, eventually it starts out pleasurable, and then you start belching and you feel sick, and before you know it, you might even want to throw it up, or you might keep it in there, and you can't sleep because you feel so bloated. You see? So, pleasure and then pain. Pleasure and pain are always balancing themselves out. You eat 10 pounds of pleasure, you'll get 10 pounds of pain. But the 10 pounds of pain, I'm sorry, I dare say will feel like 100. That's the unfortunate. 10 pounds of pleasure, and when you get the pain, what does it feel like when you have a week of flu or 2 weeks of flu? What does it feel like? It feels terrible. You're dizzy, you have no strength, you have no appetite, your eyes are bleary, you don't want to do anything, your intelligence isn't working. That's just horrible, and you can't enjoy anything. Even the favorite TV show, it doesn't even, you don't even laugh when you're supposed to laugh because you feel so miserable. So that's the important point of here. Let me just finish this part here. Nowadays, people are very much inclined to the meditational process, which is not practical in this age. But if anyone practices meditating on Krishna, who's a person, a supreme person, whose nature is pure bliss, pure peace, pure love, pure knowledge, pure strength, power, if you meditate on that which I just described, Prabhupada says he is surely the greatest meditator and the greatest yogi, as substantiated by the 6th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. 6th chapter in Bhagavad Gita, it's mentioned, and of all yogis, the one with great faith, who always abides in me, thinks of me, thinks of me, and always abides in me, thinks of me within himself, and renders transcendental living service to me. I think I've forgotten half of the verse, but I can get it. I usually know that one, but and of all yogis, the one with great faith who always abides in me and thinks of me with great faith and renders transcendental service to me, he is most intimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all. Okay, did we get it that third time? I hope. Should I say it again? It sometimes takes me a few times because if you don't do them every day, they've got to fade out a little bit. Is it clear that Krishna is saying that the highest yogi is the person, and of all yogis, the one with great faith who always abides in me, you see, with great faith always abides in me and thinks of me within and renders transcendental loving service to me. He is most intimately connected with me in Krishna consciousness. So that's what Srila Prabhupada was referring to in this particular point when he speaks of the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, that the greatest yogis are persons who can focus their attention on Krishna. That can come through the kirtans, as we were doing. We were chanting Hare Krishna, which is wonderful. Reading the philosophy of Krishna, hearing the pastimes of Krishna, or reading them in such books as the Krishna book, or Ramayana, or Bhagavatam. There are so many wonderful pastimes in them. So the whole point of this is to purify the heart and the mind. Before I go any further, let me offer my respectful obeisances to Srila Prabhupada. Om Ajnanati Mirandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my humble obeisances unto his lotus feet. Yes, so going on now. So the important point of this is learning how to remember that everything that you have, everything you possess, everything that you own belongs to Krishna. And if it belongs to Krishna, then it should be handled as loaned property. If somebody lends you something, and he lends it to you for a week or so, well, you want to be careful. For example, if it might be some china ware, or it might be something very fragile, something that can easily break. So because it's loaned to you, you want to take good care of it. You hold it very carefully, make sure that if it's your own, sometimes we're a little more casual with our own things. We'll hold the thing, put it here, move it around here, so forth. It might break, okay, I'll get another one, you see. But that's not the idea. The idea is, this belongs to Krishna. Therefore, let me remember that he's lending me this. Because at the time of death, you're going to leave it, and you won't have it. Or it may even be taken away from you before the time of death. But it's loaned. Nothing belongs to us, including our own bodies. Although we think of ourselves as our body, this is, of course, a big mistake. This is called false ego. To think of yourself as, this is me. And the thoughts based upon the actions of the body, me. And the intelligence that I use in relation to the body, me. All false. The result of that is that because I think that I'm this body, then anything that I acquire through the use of my body, I go to work, I get a paycheck, I buy a car, or I buy a house, then I consider that car a part of me. And if somebody, or I'll give you an example. You have a new car, brand new, just bought it yesterday, and you come out to get into your car, and paint has been taken off the side, and you have a little, what they call a fender bender, or it's a little pushed in. This happened to my own car, by the way. Pushed in, and some of the paint is taken off. Brand new car, and you say, oh, anybody have, why did this happen? You're upset, as if your own body had the skin ripped off. It's the same reaction. Like somebody that comes along with some kind of nail or some tool and rips off your, Don't you know where you're going? You fool, look what you've done. You say, you're angry. Why are you angry? You're angry because you think that you are affected. You think that you have been harmed. You think that you have been hurt. But actually you are not hurt. The real you remains intact. For the soul there is neither birth nor death at any time. It has not come into being. It doesn't come into being. It will not come into being. It is unborn, eternal, ever-existing, and primeval. It is not slain when the body is slain. The soul cannot be killed by any weapon, or burned by fire, or moistened by water, or withered by the wind. It's eternal. So what is the soul? It's the real you. And it is the witness. It is observed. In other words, for you to understand who you are, we have to know, for example, I say this is my hand, right? This is my book. Or this is my finger. This is my nose. Well, if it's my nose, my possession, then who am I? Who am I? If this is mine, then who am I? This belongs to me, like that's my car, then who am I? Well, I would say this is me, and that's the car. Okay, if this is my body, then who am I? I am the soul within that owns, at least in a temporary way, the body. So that's the first step in self-realization, to know the difference between who you are and what your body is. Who you are and what your property is. Who you are and what your knowledge is. The knowledge, you have it, you can lose it. You get dementia, you don't know anything anymore. You don't even know your name. I've seen people who have this terrible Alzheimer's disease. They see their husbands and wives, even grown-up children. Hello, Mom. Mom, who are you? Child. She brought that child up for 60 years, 50 years, has seen him, talked on the phone, and can't recognize him. You can lose your knowledge. No matter how smart you are today, you can lose it tomorrow. Possible. So, nothing is ours. At the time of death, all this knowledge that you've gained here, out, finished, gone. New knowledge, new body. The embodied soul. As the embodied soul passes in this body from childhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. The self-realized soul is not bewildered by such a change. So, that's Krishna. This is a quote from Krishna. It's a Bhagavad Gita. He says, as the embodied soul passes. So, what is ours then? Is there anything that we really can call ours, mine? It belongs to me. From a legal point of view, yes, you can say, well, here's the pink slip from my car, and here's the lease for the apartment, or here's the title for the apartment. You know, I've purchased this apartment, so it's mine. You think. And then your company that you work for goes out of business. You can't make your mortgage payments. And 2 months go by, 3 months go by, you're busily trying to find another job and you can't find another job. And then the bank lets you know that you haven't made the third and fourth payment and we're going to foreclose on you. We're going to take it away from you. You believed it was your car and that, it's mine. How can anybody take it away from me? Yes, as long as you got your job and Krishna was allowing you to get your paycheck and you were paying your mortgage. As long as all these things which are being arranged by Krishna are going for you. But if Krishna sees that you deserve some bad karma because you're taking it for granted, because you think it's yours, because you think you're such a great doer, such a great maker and shaker, that and you're so powerful and you're so wonderful, sometimes Krishna will take away your wealth. He'll take away your opulence. He'll take away the things that you thought you were the maker of or the producer of. And then you wonder, well, it's gone. I could never imagine. And some people take it very seriously. They become so depressed they have to go on Prozac or all these different antidepressants. They can't get through it. Some go to alcohol. They drink, and they try to drink themselves to death. And the more courageous ones go up on tall buildings and they just dive off and end it in a few seconds. The swan dive. It's fact. And the depression, in fact, in the depression of in the 30s, yeah, people would die. These multimillionaires who lost in a few days when the stock market crashed, they lost all their wealth. They couldn't believe it, and they couldn't live with themselves without it because they had developed such an amount of false prestige, thinking that I'm great, I'm wonderful, everybody's honoring me, celebrating me, glorifying me. Yes, Mr. So-and-so. Yes, Mr. So-and-so. Thank you, Mr. So-and-so. Doorman opening the door for you. Chauffeurs driving your car for you. How could anything go wrong? You're sitting on what they call seventh heaven. And then whoosh, everything crashes. You can't live with yourself. Because self was not what it really is. You thought you were something that you really were not. You thought you had achieved and earned something that really you didn't. It was given to you as grace, as mercy, and you didn't give any credit to the one who gave it to you. That is your great misfortune. And because you gave no credit, you gave no honor, you gave no glory to the giver, the giver finally said, well, this person really doesn't deserve it, and I will take it away from him. And maybe he will understand that he's not as great. He thinks he's me, Krishna is saying. He thinks he's all-powerful. And then Krishna shows him how small and insignificant, worthless, good for nothing. So, now, does everybody understand this point? Do you have any questions so far on any of these points? I hope they're clear. Any? Yeah? Okay. So we need to understand that once we recognize who we really are, that we are the soul within, and that we are part and parcel of the eternal soul, Krishna, the super soul who is within. Krishna mentions this in the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says that the living entities are a part and parcel of him. That's mentioned. The living entities in this conditioned world are my eternal fragmental parts. Due to conditioned life, they're struggling very hard with the 6 senses, which include the mind. The eyes, the ears, the nose, the tongue, the skin. 5 senses and the mind. That's, as Krishna mentions, those have been given to us. They are our instruments, the indriyas, they're called in Sanskrit. So, therefore, if we are the soul, and we own nothing, we have nothing, a very wonderful prayer that I've heard just along these lines. One great sage, the way he prays is, he says, my dear Lord, I am nothing, I have nothing, I know nothing, I do nothing, and I want nothing except pure love for your lotus feet. Then I will have everything. And there you are. He will have it because he will have the backing, he'll have the guidance, he'll have the direction, he'll have the focus that Krishna will give him to do what he or she has to do. That's so important. Just to be wandering like a piece of lumber in the ocean, being pushed by this wave, this wind, that wind, having no direction. That's what material life is. They get goals which are meaningless because they're ultimately going to be taken away at the time of death. Yeah, so they'll ultimately be taken away at the time of death. So what do you have? You have a big 0. See this 0? Nothing. So when a devotee realizes that he really has nothing, as I said, and he does nothing except what Krishna allows him to do, he can take away your legs, he can take away your eyes, your ears, and stop you from doing so many of the things you can do. So if everything is really dependent, upon Krishna, then I have to understand that I am dependent upon Krishna. I have to understand and recognize this. Depend upon Krishna. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, in all activities, just depend upon me and work always under my protection. in such devotional service, be fully conscious of me. If you become conscious of me, you will pass over all the obstacles of conditioned life by my what? My grace. If, however, you do not work in such consciousness, but act through false ego, you will be lost. I've just been describing what the false ego is. The false ego is the idea, I am the body. This is what you think. And all you want to do is glorify your body, honor your body, celebrate your body, applaud your body, have people praise your body and your mind and your name and your car and all these things. You're living for false things. So Krishna says, live for real things. The real thing is me, and the real thing is you. So let's get these two together. Let's connect them. Let's relate them, which is what they originally was. Prabhupada says, we were all originally Krishna-conscious living beings, but we fell from the eternal world to this world because we wanted to enjoy separately from Krishna. Krishna says, one who is not connected with me in Krishna consciousness can have neither transcendental intelligence nor a steady mind, without which there is no possibility of peace. And how can there be any peace? How can there be any happiness if there is no peace? You can't be happy unless you have peace. And so Krishna has said, as I just quoted just now, one who is not connected with me in Krishna consciousness can have neither transcendental intelligence nor a steady mind, without which there can be without such peace there cannot be any happiness. So Krishna is saying that if you want to be happy, then you need to connect with me. Now in Karma Yoga, a person performs action in the mood of the false ego. Here's the way it works. Let's just say that you want to, for a simple example, because many of us are familiar with this. You want to buy a Mercedes car, okay? You have to have a lot of money for that, you know that. So you work, on night and day, you go for overtime and double time, and you put in so much strain, you sweat so much, you do everything possible, and finally you say to yourself, now I have accomplished it, I have the money, I buy it, and now it's sitting on the street, people are admiring it. And so in Karma Yoga, that's basically, you want the feeling of accomplishment, that you accomplished something, that you did it. But when you get to Bhakti Yoga, we recognize, as I've already been speaking, that you did it by the mercy or the grace of Krishna. If he didn't give you his grace, you wouldn't have gotten it. So, therefore, it becomes important to understand this. But to begin with, we all like to feel a sense of Can we stop that, please? Whatever the noise is. But we like to have the pleasure of feeling that we have accomplished something. We've achieved our goal. I did it. It's like winning in a football game, We did it. And we hold up our arms. We got the trophy. We did it. We're great. We're wonderful. You see the football players. He makes a touchdown, and he does a somersault, or he does a backflip, or he bounces the football down on the ground. Everybody grabs him. They throw some 7-Up on his face, or they feel, I'm the doer. I did it, you see. But you didn't do anything. So now in Karma Yoga, the Karma Yogi understands that he couldn't have done it without the mercy or the grace or the help of God. He knows that. So what he does to get rid of this horrible idea of I did it, I'm great, I'm wonderful, I accomplished, that's a disease. It's a definite disease, just like any disease. To get rid of that disease, Krishna is telling you, if you do this austerity, if you give up everything to me, offer your food to me. It says, whatever you do, whatever you offer or give away, you give some charity to the Red Cross or to the temple, do it for me. Don't do it so somebody can say, oh, I heard about your $20,000 donation. Wow, far out. You're wonderful. There's nobody more charitable than you. No, it's really nothing. But you're really blown up. Your ego is just inflated to the max. You see. That's not the idea. Krishna's saying, no, 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 no. I gave you the money. Recognize that. Now, you give it to me. And then what happens is that little by little, as time goes on, giving to Krishna through so many different ways. You perform austerities, you get up early in the morning, you chant the japa, chant Hare Krishna, or you make some nice musical arrangements, or you sing nice devotional songs, people praise you and honor you. Krishna is saying, don't take any of this. You can accept it graciously, but on behalf of who? Who? Krishna, yes. I just want to show everyone was awake. Because sometimes, what? I get a lot of those sometimes. What can I do? I can't please them all. So, anyway, the important thing is that when we get into this habit of giving, because Krishna deserves it. Krishna should get it. He gave it to you. Therefore, when you give it to him, you are truly recognizing the true owner of it, the true person to whom it should go. Srila Prabhupada used to give this example of that. For example, you find a person's wallet on the street. Well, what's the first thing you do? You open it up, and you try to, and you look to see what's in it. And if you see, well, maybe there's $500 there in it. So if you have of a rascal mentality, you say, wow, thanks God, I really could use this. God has been good to me today, So that's a rascal mentality. But a person who has a devotional mentality and recognizes that everything belongs to Krishna, and that Krishna gave this money to this individual through hopefully the process of work, hopefully not for robbing a bank, but hopefully for the purposes of, because he worked for it. Then if Krishna gave it to him and he deserves it, then he should get it back. So let me look for the identification. Here it is. Here's his email. And here's his phone number. So you get on your phone number. This happened in my family. My father lost his wallet. He had so many important papers in it, credit cards and a number of other things like that. So he was, I thought he was going to collapse when that happened, because and what happened is we were there, and he was making telephone calls to the police in case anybody turned it in, and he hung up the phone. 10 minutes later, somebody called. I found your wallet, Mr. Z. You found it? Really? He says, yeah. Well, where are you? I'd like to come and get it. So this happened to my mother at least 3 times. And she gave a nice donation. She gave the person at least $50 for just calling her up and letting her know. Anyway, the main point is that you give it back to the rightful owner. Is it not? So if you give something back to the rightful owner, who's the ultimate owner of everything we own? It's Krishna. So just as the person turned in the wallet because the person, and he puts himself in the position, well, what if I lost my wallet? And I was in anxiety. I'd like it if somebody returned it to me. It would be wonderful. So do unto others as you would like done unto you. So therefore, God is the ultimate owner, and we need to cultivate this habit of offering everything to Krishna. One of the ways that I do it, I haven't mastered it yet. I tell you in all honesty, I'm trying my best. But when I'm working alone, and let's just say I'm preparing some food for my for the Lord. Let's just say I eat very simply. I'm making a blend of some bananas, and I put some milk in it. I put some grapes in there, and maybe I put some dates in there, and a few other things. And as I'm doing that, I'm saying, "This is for you, Krishna. This is for you, Krishna. This is for you." And I pour the milk. This is for you, Krishna. Let's see, Krishna, what else would you like? I'm thinking like that, waiting for him to send a message into my head. He's just right here. It's not like long distance. I don't have to go on the email for that. I've got what they call heart mail. So that's a much more better way to communicate with Krishna. So, anyway, what else would you like? And then it suddenly occurs to you that, oh, wait a minute, I have that persimmon there. It's been sitting in my... Now let me put that in. That will add to the mix. So you put that in, it all looks... Is it okay now, Krishna? Okay, this is for you. You turn on the blender, and then pour it into Krishna's cup, and you take the cup, and you put it on your altar, and this is for you, Krishna. You see, for you, everything for you, and now the product, not just the action. Krishna says, whatever you do, whatever you offer or give away, the action, he wants the action. So how do you give the action unless you say, this is for you, Krishna? You've given the action too. That's good karma. Whatever you do is going to Krishna, he's going to bless you. And he will bless you with more service for him. So then you give it to Krishna. Then you offer certain prayers to Srila Prabhupada, prayers to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, prayers to Lord Sri Krishna. I also throw in a prayer to Srimati Radharani because I know that Krishna particularly loves Srimati Radharani. So why not get his full affection and full pleasure and offer it all, leave it for 5, and then after you've offered, let Krishna taste it. He tastes it invisibly. He can eat through his eyes. He can smell through his ears. All his 5 senses, he can do anything interchangeably if he wishes. And if you offer it with love, that's what he wants. Krishna says, whatever you offer in love and devotion, a leaf, a flower, fruit, or water, I will accept it. Love and devotion, not, here, Krishna. Go on to my other things. All right. It's offered. What makes you think Krishna is going to even accept that? Somebody just slops something down in front of you. That's an offering? That's just a mechanical, robotic action. Any robot even could do it better. You can train the robot to put it down gently. Really. Now they got robots making cars and all this kind of a thing. And the robots, they do... man just sits around watching the robots nowadays. So, no, you offer it. When you offer something, you offer it with your heart. Krishna says, whatever you offer me in love and devotion, a leaf, a flower, fruit, or water, I will accept it. Love and devotion. What is love? Love is the desire on the part of the devotee to want Krishna to be pleased, to want Krishna to have pleasure. Isn't it nice when somebody, even you go to some of these high-class restaurants, the waiter puts something down, and then he leaves you, and then towards the latter part of the meal, he'll come over to you and say, this is when I used to go to restaurants, even they know the best etiquette, I hope you found everything enjoyable, sir. Was it okay? Oh, it's delicious, delightful. Oh, we're very grateful. Would you like another serving, another helping of this? Oh, I'd be delighted. I mean, this feeling of affection that is going through both persons. You feel that this person who has served you has done it with some affection. Of course, it's not real affection. He's taught to do that so that the place will make money. You see, in other words, it's called money affection. You turn on the affection like you turn on the key of your car and it starts. So you turn on the affection and it appears that he's affectionate, but if he stopped giving you that so-called affection, he'd be out of a job. So he gives you the affection, apparently. But in devotional love, in devotional service, it comes from the heart, you see. Devotional services comes from the heart. And as it comes from the heart, we're not doing it so that we will be sure that Krishna will make sure that I eat, I have clothes. You shouldn't even be worried about those things. Your only concern is onefold. Is Krishna being pleased by this? That's what love is all about. You have your child, okay? So you make a nice meal. Is it okay? Are you still hungry? Do you like it? You want some ice cream? Or sherbet? Or you want some Snicker bars? Yeah, they know what I'm talking about. No, I don't eat them. No, I used to, though. Yes, but anyway, yeah, you want some of this? And the kid feels, oh, Mommy loves me. She's giving me a Snicker bar. Wow. And then you're eating it, and therefore affection grows for the mother in accordance with the pleasure that she gives to the child. I had great love for my mother because she was always thinking of me. And to be quite frank, I don't think I've ever said this in any of my classes, that I came to know what Krishna's love is all about through my mother's love. I came to the understanding that Krishna invests his love, especially in women when they have children, and the instinctive, motherly, affectionate, warm, those kind feelings come out of them. This is Krishna's love. Of course, it's a bit selfish because it's your kid. You know, you're not going to show the same amount for maybe that kid unless you're very Krishna conscious. When you begin to think that all children are my children, you're like the Divine Mother, which is a Krishna conscious mother. But let's put that aside for the moment. The very fact that you just show affection to your own, that's Krishna's love. And when I would see this, my mother showing me so much love in so many different ways, whenever there was a difficulty, tribulation, trial, problems, pressures, stresses, she was always there for me. She was always there to have a kind word. Can I do something? Is there something? She would say something warm. She would say, can I get you something to eat? Or would you like to go out and take a walk, and just talk about what's bothering you? Things like that. Well, that love, I can never forget it. But eventually, when she died, I took it very deeply because I considered that she taught me what Krishna's love was all about. And I came to the realization, that's how you should treat everybody, with the same affection. And that's how love will really go around the world. And once everybody really begins to recognize that we're all part and parcel of Krishna, and by extension, all part and parcel of one another, because you have so many sun rays. I'm a ray, you're a ray, you're a ray, and where do we all merge into? The one sun. So that we're all connected to the one sun. We're all connected to Krishna. Therefore, we're all brothers and sisters. How can I not love you? The only reason I cannot love you is due to diversity. I think you're the body, I think I'm the body, and your body is somehow going to impinge upon or encroach upon my body. Therefore, I don't like your body. Keep your body away from me, or I'm going to kill your body. That's what it's all about. But when you no longer identify yourself with your body and you think of yourself as the eternal soul, nothing can hurt you, nothing can harm you, nothing can disturb you, nothing can affect you, nothing can do any of that. Because the soul, as I said, is immortal, it's eternal, it's ever-existing, it's primeval. And it's not slain when the body is slain. Therefore, once you are identifying yourself with the eternal soul and no longer with the temporary material body, you're courageous, you're fearless, you have no problems, you have no uncertainty, you have no doubt. Everything is... Not now. That's distracting. Put that on your bicycle. So, anyway, that's the important point. Now, how do we move from this karma yoga, in which you want to be the mover and the shaker, the doer? Krishna says, to get out of that identification, you need to give, until finally you realize, nothing is mine. Well, if nothing is mine, then what am I working for? For the pleasure of Krishna. That's what love of God is all about. To give for the pleasure of Krishna. You make the food, as I gave the illustration, offer it to Krishna. You get a new car, it's yours, Krishna. Have a priest do some nice ceremony and offer it to Krishna for you. You pass an examination, thank Krishna for helping you. He could have taken your memory away. I know I've had that wonderful case. You go to a midterm or an end term, and for 5 minutes you sit there, and the questions, you've memorized them, you knew the answers, and you sit there with a blank mind, and you say, oh God, am I going to fail this test? I know the answers, and you're not helping me. He wanted to hear that. So once he heard it, he then, the memory starts returning. Krishna says, I'm the source of all. He says that I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. Well, if Krishna gives remembrance, then he's got to help you to remember. So once you know that, then you come on, Krishna, you're the one who makes help me. The center of your life. As a result of making Krishna the center of your life, what will happen is gradually you'll become more and more detached from all of the things that you supposedly own, all the things that you are attached to. You know, this, as I said, you're attached to this food, or you're attached to this particular individual, or whatever it may be. And the attachment will grow less and less. What will happen if your attachment for a food, or a particular individual, or a particular object, it might be your car, person is attached to the car and somebody is leaning against it. I once did this. I remember I was a movie set. And I was leaning against somebody's Cadillac, and the guy came out, and the man, he says, "You're leaning against my car." What? Excuse me? He says, "You are leaning against my car." My car. I says, "Well, I was just trying to polish it up a little bit." He says, "If I need the polishing, I go to the car wash. So please, I don't need your help." I walked away, and that was the end of that. So this is the kind of mentality people have as a result of feeling that they are the owners. And he feels that his body was encroached. It's like if I push myself against your body, it's like, hey, you're taking away my space. You're pushing yourself on me. This is me. I don't want your encroachment on me. Keep away. I want my space. So you're not the body. And the more we do this offering, that's the key. Whatever you do, whatever you offer, everything keeps saying, "This is for you, Krishna." If I leave you with anything tonight, one thing I want everyone to remember. And if you remember this, this philosophy will unfold very naturally and quite blissfully in your life. This is for you, Krishna. Whatever I do. You put the food to take in your mouth, this is for you. How is it for Krishna? It's going to nourish your body, your respiratory system, your circulatory system, your nervous system, endocrine system. It's going to do all that for your body. How can it be for Krishna? How? You're going to offer your service to Krishna. You can't offer your service to Krishna unless this body is nourished and vitalized and strengthened and has everything that it needs to function. So, this is for you, Krishna. I will eat it for you. Okay? You eat it for Krishna, and then you go out, and as the body is nourished, you use the body to serve Krishna. And as you serve, you do this, you do that. This is for you, Krishna. Krishna becomes the end-all and be-all, and he whirls around in your head, and before you know it, you just, all you want to do is think of Krishna, because, in my personal experience, it's very blissful. Not materially blissful, but inwardly blissful. You feel it in the heart. You feel it in different kinds of ecstatic symptoms that come into your body and your mind. You feel happy and fulfilled and satisfied and strong. You feel connected to everyone and everything in the entire world because of this connection with Krishna. But you will not have that unless you do what I'm saying. For you, Krishna. For you, for you, for you. You don't have to make a big show of it either. For example, you go to a job, you sit down in a lunchroom, and a person keeps seeing you, you're taking a mouthful, and you say, "For you, Krishna." "Oh, for you, Krishna." "Oh, for you." Is this guy crazy? Who's this Krishna? What are you doing? You don't have to make a big show of this. Mental, okay? Keep it in here. Unless you're in the company of people who would understand. Even people who understand, it should be in your mind. Don't show off your devotion. Don't wear it on your sleeve, and don't wear it on your lips. Wear it in your heart. I think it was Jesus Christ said, when you go in to pray, don't do a big show of it on the street. You know, they had all these Pharisees and Sadducees. They were doing all this davening and all this kind of thing on the street, making a big show. Go into your closet and let only God know what you do. And then you get lots of merit. He credits you. He's appreciating that you're not putting on a show and trying to take his position away. Usurp this position so that everybody looks at you instead of thinks of God. God is very, very glad when he sees that you take this humble position. So that develops into Bhakti Yoga. That's what Bhakti is. I've given you the whole score, or the scoop, on when you're just always putting Krishna as the center of your life, and you're thinking of it mentally. As I said, no, other people won't know this. But I'll tell you one thing they will know. They will notice. How come you're always you look so happy? There's something in your eyes. There's a glint in your eye. There's something in your smile. There's something peaceful about it. What are you on? You know, what do you want? What are you taking? You on some painkiller or something? So, no, I'm just on. You want to know about it? You take out a little book. This is what I'm on. Why don't we have lunch and we can talk all about it? And what happens is that you introduce him to Krishna because he wants to have. He's noticed something. She's noticed something that that they would like to have because everybody wants to be peaceful. Everyone wants to be joyful. Do you want to be joyful? You sure? Come on, give me your. You don't sound very confident of it. Yes. Oh, is that? Can I?
Yes.
Okay, now I believe you. Yes. If you want to be joyful, you want to be peaceful, you want to be strong, you want to be without anxiety, then you need to associate with the supreme peace, the supreme joy. If I shake your hand and your hand is hot and mine is cold, then my cold hand will slowly become warm. Is it not? Because I'm associating. Similarly, when you associate with pure peace, pure joy, pure strength, pure love, through the chanting of the holy name of the Lord, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
If you associate with the Lord through that means, then what that will mean is that those qualities will become your quality. Krishna says, in one who has unflinching devotional service to Krishna, all the good qualities of Krishna and the different demigods are consistently manifest in your life. By association, hot and cold, they each take something of one another. In the case of Krishna, he just gives you more and more of his mercy in the form of his wonderful, glorious, unimaginable, incalculable qualities. Okay? Does anyone have any questions? Does everybody agree with me? Is there anybody who disagrees? I'd like to know. Maybe I haven't made this clear. And I'll try. Srila Prabhupada used to, if somebody didn't agree, he said, well, what's your doubt? I want to hear it so that I can make it. I try to make it as clear as possible. Do you understand? Is it all clear? Great. How about, would you like to end the class for me? No? Okay. He's humble. You probably could. Yes?
I have a question. There was a quote that you had mentioned earlier about the wise man. Do you know what scripture that would be?
I'm trying to remember what I said. We'd have to go back.
You had said that
You have to give it to me a little more completely.
You said that the wise man. Somebody tell y'all. You guys help me out. You said something about intelligent. The wise man. Something about knows and intelligent.
The one, I think it was.
Getting in touch with the sensory objects, and the wise can recognize they are temporary.
Oh yeah, okay,
Related to that.
I'll just quote that again. An intelligent person does not take part in the sources of misery, which are due to contact with the material senses. Such pleasures of the senses have a beginning and an end, and the wise person does not delight in them. Is that what you were talking about?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what would you like to know about?
Where is that? Is that in the book?
It's in the Bhagavad Gita. Yeah, it's in the Bhagavad Gita.
You know about? I can write it down.
I'll try to remember. I believe it's in the. I don't remember the verse, but if you go to the index, all you have to remember. Let me just give you an intelligent person. Look up under the word misery. Okay, you should find it there, and it will say a few words in connection with what I just said. Look up misery, or look up intelligent or intelligence, and you should find it there. If I had do you have a database by any chance? Database is all the books of Prabhupada, and all you have to do is type in the question box, and it will just bring it right up immediately. That it'll bring up that and anything with those words, misery or intelligence. And you can, and if it's a translation, which I gave, it wasn't a paraphrase. It's in bold place. You ought to get that. Everyone should get the database who's seriously interested in this. How many here? Does anybody have the database? Oh, great. That's good. Yeah, some of you who are serious about this, you should try to get the database so that you can find these things quickly. And you'll find a host of other things in connection with the same subject matter. You're welcome. Any other questions? Now, I was just... yes, go.
I have a question. Like, it is regarding happiness.
Yeah.
So we are all seeking happiness in this world. Like if you ask 100 people, the definition of happiness will differ for me, maybe happiness is to go to a restaurant and eat. Or for somebody, maybe
Yeah,
to buy a nice car.
yeah.
Or
That will be
so
something.
it will differ from person to person.
Yeah,
So you briefly touched on this happiness during your class.
yeah.
Can you elaborate on what Krishna says, what is real happiness, which is more everlasting?
I just gave it. I'll repeat it.
Mhm.
He says, one who is not connected with me in Krishna consciousness can have neither transcendental intelligence nor a steady mind, without which there is no peace. And how can there be any peace? Without which there is no happiness. And how can there be any happiness without peace? So he's saying that you need to be peaceful to be happy. And then at the beginning, Krishna is saying, one who is not connected with me in Krishna consciousness. That means you need to connect with Krishna. And that will bring you inner happiness. One whose happiness is within, who is active and rejoices within, and whose aim is inward, is the perfect mystic. He's liberated the Supreme Lord, and ultimately he attains the Supreme Lord. So inner happiness comes directly from the Supersoul. Imagine somebody coming over to you with a hose and showering you, and it's coming all over your body. Okay? So when the Supersoul showers the soul with his transcendental bliss and peace and strength, it's as a result of his being pleased with you. He's pleased by your service, and he's letting you know this by enabling you to feel transcendental bliss. So when we say happiness, all these other happinesses that you mentioned are temporary. This is permanent. It's not here today and gone tomorrow. It's always there. Sometimes it gets more intense, sometimes it's less intense. It's like an underground stream. Are you all familiar with an underground stream? Water runs underground as well as overground. So it's always flowing. So this underground or inner stream is running in the heart, and one feels, is there something happening? This underground stream is similar to the inner joy that one feels within the heart. And that comes through devotional love, devotional service. Actually, service is nothing more than love expressed. Okay? Any other questions? Is that clear? You understand?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay, good. Any other questions? Please, no question. And probably some of you want to take prasadam. And my host and myself, we're going to have to leave a little early because I have a class tomorrow morning that I have to give in Alachua. Otherwise, I would stay much later. Before we leave, though, I would like to say that before I go, I do have the books of Srila Prabhupada. I have put them on MP3 CDs. They're in the back in case you want any of those books. I also have some of my own books there. There's a price list of them. I also have brought anyone who wants the whole collection of Prabhupada's books, which I have narrated, some of which are dramatic, some of which are non-dramatic. I have them all on one USB, an 8.25 gigabytes. You can just take it and plug it into your car dashboard, or into your computer, or anywhere, or even into your MP3 player. Everything, literally, thousands of hours of narration are there in that USB. I have them out there, and we will only be here for a few more minutes, so please avail yourself if you would like to have that. They are also, they are discounted at $135 discount. They're normally $280 if you bought each one individually. So it's at an enormous savings.
And I would like to add one thing, that, most people are very busy. They don't have time to sit down and read Prabhupada's books because so many things going on. But with these recordings, you can play them while you're driving, while you're cooking, while you're doing many other things, and you can still hear, and you get at least a chance to hear Prabhupada's writings narrated by Amala Bhakti, who's done it in a very pure devotional way. So it's another way to experience what Prabhupada has given us here with this priceless knowledge. It's very valuable and very helpful. I know Shravananda here, he said he listened to the entire Srimad Bhagavatam recorded by Amala Bhakti twice. So how many discs was that? Maybe
Well, the discs are 2, but it used to be on tape. 64 tapes, 92-minute tapes. 64 times 92. That's a lot of hours. Actually, it comes to almost close to 100 hours. And you can just listen, get in your car, go to work, come out, and if you feel, oh, all that materialism, just turn it on and everything is washed away.
once you hear it, you can start thinking about it and absorb it. And once you absorb it, then you can think about how to use it in your life. And then your life actually changes. Otherwise, just hearing and not thinking, not meditating, not acting, we're kind of like a scarecrow, empty body.
I have a question.
Thank you very much for your kind words. Anyone else? You have a question? Yes, please.
Yeah, I'm using instant consciousness, of course, to know about the experience. But one of my experiences, like, it's true, like there's
no
so
sense
many...
talking. So the children are kept quiet. I can't hear you.
Right. So, as I said, like, one of my experience, like there's...
Why don't you come on?
Nowadays,
Come on.
there's so much books, so many books and so many MP3s and websites and everything. You know, you can 24 hours a day. You can just listen online what's going on in, you know, in India and any temples.
Yeah.
And I kind of caught on myself on the thought that I'm kind of like enjoying so much that knowledge. You know, just the knowledge by itself, like becoming so attached to this knowledge. But then sometimes I think how much I use it in my life, you know, like the whole process of getting the knowledge became kind of absorbed me, you know, and like, but do I, like the thing is like at some point you see that knowledge, does it really change your life or not, you know, but because in like, I have like the lectures going on in the kitchen at home all the time, you know, and I cut myself, I love it, you know, if the lecture is not going on, I feel something missing in my life. But then, I think when it's quiet, I think, but how is my life changing?
Yeah, well, let me tell you. If you heard everything I said tonight, and it's not easy when you got one kid on one side and one on the other, but if you heard it, I have told you how to apply it in your life. That child, your child, what is your name? What?
Calypso.
One other?
Calypso.
Kalipa?
Calypso.
Okay, okay. She's your child. Not really. She's Krishna's child. Okay? You're her caretaker. You're to make sure that she gets everything that she needs for Krishna. I've just told you how you can make all the lectures and everything. If you can even, don't even listen any other lecture. Just do that one thing that I've just told you to do. She belongs to Krishna. I'm Krishna's servant. My business is to take care of her for the pleasure of Krishna. You see? And if you keep that in mind, Krishna, and you have to think about this. You have to do it consciously. Not just do it, but consciously. This is for you. That's why I can use the term. This is for you, Krishna. This is for you. She doesn't have to know that. That's inside your head. You
It's
know?
like when I'm listening to the lectures, I think, oh, Krishna, I do it for you.
Yeah,
So
that's
I-
good. That's good. You're listening for the lecture so that I can know you, Krishna. I want a relationship with. I have the relationship. I want to awaken it so that I feel your holy presence. I'm not.
Right. Like, of course, I mean, of course, when we eat the food, of course, we offer, we pray, everything is there. You know, we, going to the programs, to the temple, participating, associating. Yes, but it's something is like they're feeling that something is missing. That my life is just not changing. You know, like all that knowledge is. I get in the knowledge because I just love to get the knowledge because it's like. Wow, yeah, it fills you in, it feels
Well, what are you
emptiness.
expecting? Let me ask you. You say nothing is changing. What change are you expecting?
I don't know, that changes.
Well, if
that-
you don't
that
know, then
bliss, yeah,
nothing's
that's
going
what
to
you're
happen.
talking about, that
You
bliss
have to
and-
know. Wait, listen. You have to listen, please. You need to know, when you say my life isn't changing, I need to know from you, unless you just want to discuss it here, what you're expecting to change.
Yeah, that he said the joy.
Okay, the
of
joy.
life. Yeah, the
Okay.
joy, like you asked
Okay,
this
that's
little boy.
because you're not doing what I've told you to do. You're not in connection with Krishna. It's not enough to have book knowledge. You need to have practical knowledge. Practical knowledge is what I've just told you. You need to be conscious, I'm doing this for you. You need to talk to Krishna. Like you and I are talking now, okay? And I'm telling you how to gain the knowledge of the book in a practical usable way. It's not enough to stuff your head with lots of knowledge. That's okay, but it's only a beginning. You came to this class tonight. Krishna inspired you to ask this question, and he's inspiring me to tell you how to fulfill and get the answer so that you will be a really, truly happy person. You need to put into practice the things of the books that are in there, but they're just sitting there. Now I want you to apply them. When you start to apply them and you look at your child, say, this is you. She's yours, Krishna. She's so beautiful. Why is she beautiful? Because you're beautiful, Krishna. And her beauty is reflecting through you, through her. Okay? So when you begin to connect everything with Krishna, like connecting the dots, in the little puzzles they have the kids, you draw a line here, one here, and it comes out to be a king or a queen, So you need to connect those dots. And when you connect the dots, then what will happen is that you begin to feel that joy. Because you're connecting with Krishna, not merely putting stuff in your head and letting it sit there like in a stagnant pool. You want to move that water so that it does something. Okay? So that way, make every act of your life, say it. You got pictures of Krishna in your home? Beautiful. Okay, talk to Krishna. Tell him your heart. And you'll see, next time if I come next year or so, you'll be quivering with ecstasy. And I say, oh, it worked, wow. And I'll be happier than even you are just to see you so happy. I'm serious, that's what my life is all about, to try to see people become happier by putting everyone in touch with the supreme source of all bliss, and that's Krishna. Okay, will you do that for me? I guarantee it. I'm telling you. And if it doesn't come true, then just hit me over the head with the Bhagavad Gita. Boom, that's all. But I know it works, because it works for me, it will work for you. Okay? Anyone else? Thanks for asking the question. It's a really good one, too.
It was good.
Okay, then I'll go to the back. If anyone wants any things or so, anyone wants the USB.